Congratulations on your first step in obtaining a Pennsylvania dealer's license. The first thing you need to do to get your Pennsylvania dealer's license is you've got to request a Pennsylvania dealer application from the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue. So all you need to do is call 717-783-1697, and you can actually have a Pennsylvania dealer license applications mailed to you, or you can download one right here at dealertraining.org. Just click on the dealer application link and it's going to take you straight to the online version. So you need to ensure that this is filled out correctly, or the state of Pennsylvania will actually reject your application. But if you've got any questions whatsoever while you're going through the application process, you can call the License Bureau at 717-783-1697. So the very first step in gaining your application, after you gain your application, is to make sure that you've got a business building, because the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is going to require that you have a business building before you obtain your Pennsylvania dealer's license. So you need to make sure that your business building is permanently enclosed. It's got to be an enclosed building. You've got to be able to show the state of Pennsylvania that you can either rent or you own the business building, and it's got to be separate from any adjoining businesses or residences. And you may not have two Pennsylvania dealer's licenses at the same address. You've got to have a separate dealer license for each Pennsylvania dealer license address. Your building's also got to have a private office area, which is separate from the display area, so you will have space to store your Pennsylvania dealer license records. So you want to ensure that all these records are kept separately. The dealer also has to have a display area, and you've got to have a display area to show the motor vehicles that show the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation before you actually obtain your license. And it's very important that your display area is connected to your building. So it can either be indoors or outdoors, but you've got to ensure that it is viewable to the nearest public, to the general public, and all the vehicles you have for sale have to be on this lot. Your display area must have room for 5 or more vehicles, and the Pennsylvania RV dealers are required to have at least 5,000 square feet of area. So make sure that you've got a storage area for any wrecked vehicles or anything that aren't being sold directly to your retail customers. Vehicles that are being prepared cannot be allowed in the display area. Your display area must be properly graded with a hard surface, and you must make sure that it is separate from any other parking areas in order to obtain your Pennsylvania dealer's license. If you operate your dealership at night, you're going to have the display area properly lighted. So before you do obtain your license, also you've got to have a telephone. And according to Pennsylvania statute, your telephone cannot be a cellular phone or a cordless phone. So you literally have to have a working landline. And the reason for this is so your customers are going to be able to get a hold of you, whether they've got a question about purchasing a vehicle that you've got for sale, or if they want to call you and contact you about a vehicle that they want to purchase from you. So you have to be accessible to your customers. So anytime someone wants to get a hold of you, they've got to be able to have a phone to access you. So the phone must be located in your business building, and it must be listed in your dealer name. So one thing also you want to make sure is that you have a business sign. You've got to have a permanent business sign in order to obtain a Pennsylvania dealer's license. Your business sign must be connected to the business building or the display area. It's got to be in your dealership name, and you've got to have your name clearly displayed on the business sign. So make sure you've got your business sign ready to go. Make sure it's going to be viewable from the nearest roadway. That's going to allow the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation to ensure that you have met all of your requirements, and make sure you have your business sign clearly displayed with your dealership name on it. The state of Pennsylvania also requires that you pass your Pennsylvania fire safety requirements. So you've got to obtain a certificate of occupancy from the local inspection official to make sure that your business building meets all the fire code requirements. The Department of Transportation wants to make sure your building is safe before you are actually granted a Pennsylvania dealer's license. One thing also, during your step-by-step process to gain your license, you're going to have to display your business hours, because once again, the state wants to ensure that your customers know when you're accessible. And so you have to prominently display your business hours so your customers can have, if they've got questions they want to ask you about a vehicle, they can contact you during your business hours. So they need to be on the front of your building. And the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation requires a display of your hours of operation. So anytime your customers have a question about a vehicle they've already purchased from you, they can get a hold of you as well. So one thing about the state of Pennsylvania is they do require all salespeople to be licensed. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation requires any salesperson that's employed by you, they must register properly for a Pennsylvania dealer license, salesperson license. So what you'll have to do is you can actually register your salespeople right through dealertraining.org. Just click on the application process here, and they will take you to a direct link so you can actually get your license, your salespeople licensed. So every time you have a new salesperson, you've got to have them licensed. Another part of your process is your federal tax identification number. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation requires anyone applying for a Pennsylvania dealer's license to apply for a federal tax ID number before you are actually granted your Pennsylvania dealer's license. And you can apply very easily. Go straight to taxformw9.com. That's listed all over the dealer training website, so you can get your federal tax ID, the process started. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, they also require that dealers in our state get a Pennsylvania dealer surety bond. So anyone that holds a Pennsylvania dealer license, they've got to get a dealer surety bond in the amount of $25,000. A dealer surety bond is going to protect customers against fraudulent dealers, and so all of us have to have these. You can obtain a Pennsylvania dealer surety bond from an insurance agent, and the price is dependent on your credit score. If you got good credit, your dealer surety bond is going to be about $185 to $200 a year. If you've got a couple of blemishes on your score, your credit scores, then your dealer surety bond can actually, the prices can go up extensively. So if you operate your dealership, though, with the very highest ethical standards, you're never going to have to worry about someone filing a claim against your bond. And you can learn more about that later on today when we actually go into the federal requirements. Pennsylvania dealer insurance. You do have to obtain a Pennsylvania dealer garage policy before you are allowed by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation to actually apply for your license. This is a new law that does require you to get the policy before you get your license. They used to allow you to go get your license, then get your policy. Now they changed the law. You've got to get your dealer insurance before you actually can get your dealer license. So these are going to protect customers when they're out driving your test driving your vehicles. It's going to protect you when you're driving back and forth from a dealer's auction. So make sure and call your dealer insurance agent, any insurance agent to get a quote on this. One thing I have found out about this is there's different prices all over the state of Pennsylvania. You might find one insurance agent on one side of the street that's asking $1,000 a year for a policy, and the agent across the street from him or her is asking $5,000 a year for a policy. So there's a huge variation in policy pricing. Make sure and make several calls, get several quotes, and always make sure that you've got enough coverage to cover your inventory in case you ever do lose it to a hailstorm or a tornado. So you want to make sure that you're insured. Make sure that you have a copy of your application, a copy of your dealer garage insurance policy in your application package when you mail it to Harrisburg to get your license. Make sure when you have completed the application, you can either call them directly at 717-783-1697 to make sure you've got all the documents that are required when you're mailing in your Pennsylvania dealer application. So make sure and include everything with your application. You got to have your original dealer surety bond, your proof of dealer insurance. If you've got a franchise agreement because you're selling new vehicles, you need to make sure that you've got a copy of your franchise agreement in your dealer application packet. You've got to have that certificate of occupancy as well, and your federal tax ID number. And you're going to be mailing this big dealer application packet that's got all your paperwork in it to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. It's the State Board of Vehicle Manufacturers, Dealers, and Salespersons. And the P.O. Box to this is P.O. Box 2649. And you're going to mail that application packet to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania 17105. So congratulations on your decision to obtain a Pennsylvania dealer's license. I wish you the very best of luck with your new business, and I want to welcome you to the world's greatest business. Having a dealer's license has no limit on what you can make with it. You just got to follow every single rule by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, act ethically, act with high ethical standards, and there's a wealth of opportunity for you in this business. Congratulations. Now go make some money.